Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Where are we going next?
Firenze.
Firenze.
And then tomorrow pizza.
Oh, sì, pizza.
Then Roma.
Then Roma.
Bye, Venezia. I love you. I'll be back.
The look on your face. Two trains passing head on at 100 miles an hour.
Venice was really good. Lots of walking. You had to walk everywhere. There's no taxis or anything. You had to go walk everywhere.
What we learned in Paris with the whole debacle of trying to figure out where the heck we needed to go and what the streets were and getting confused. The streets here, we would have been completely lost if we hadn't learned the lesson that we learned in Paris, which was simply make sure that we have the Google Maps downloaded for that area so that we could look up and see. Now, granted, we don't use the mobile data because the mobile data would cost like a small fortune. I don't feel like selling one of our children for it or an organ. So, but the GPS works fine. So I could download the map, look up what I wanted to look up when I was on Wi-Fi, like the hotel or the restaurant or something like that. And then we could just...
The streets were crazy.
Yeah, insane.
Like some of them are not even, it's a street with a real street name, but they're not even wide enough to have two people walking side by side.
There weren't a lot of trash cans. There were like no trash cans. And you were expected to take care of your own trash and not litter, which was completely opposite of like what we see, especially in Orlando, and even what we saw in Paris, where there's a trash can like every 10 feet, and there's lots of litter and stuff like that, and there's constantly people coming around picking up the trash, and you see garbage trucks like every 5 minutes going by picking up, buckets full of trash.
There are no cars. No, I didn't even see people in bikes. Like,
No bikes, no cars, no nothing. Yeah.
But you really can't even have a bike because everything you have to go over bridges constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
It's really cool. Also, something about Venice, they have a lot of churches and they ring the bells, but also the bells are used to warn the residents when there's going to be very high tide, so they can prep their homes.
Yeah,
So
I wish somebody would have thought about bringing some waders or boots or
almost
galoshes.
put them in Patrick's. We don't need that. That's an extra weight.
Of course not. We don't need that.
Some of our best pictures in Venice, we have
Garbage bags on our feet,
over-
basically, is what it looks like. Yeah. Can I just say I love this train now? The scenery here is phenomenal. And we are hauling tail. These trains do not play around. They move fast. But I think what I took away from Venice was to definitely be more conscious about how much, because we're pretty conscious already, but to be really conscious at how much trash am I creating. Like they looked at us like we were weird because we were like, hey, can we throw these water bottles away? And they looked at us like,
but you're not allowed to refill them.
right, but you're not allowed to refill them, so it's kind of like, yeah, it was kind of, so it's like really made us, that's what my takeaway was, is I needed to be more conscious about how much trash am I creating. I can fill up a whole bag of trash just by myself in a day at work, with your Starbucks cup and then your lunch and then, the container your lunch came in or the bag or whatever. And I'm just like, wow. So it's like, and we're pretty conscious about it because we live in the RV. So we don't have a lot of space for trash. Not near about what we used to do in the house. We used to take out a full garbage bag every day, and now I look back and think, of what? So that was my takeaway from Venice. Aside from all the pictures and the beauty and the buildings and the architecture and the kissing in the alleyway. Yeah, that was awesome. All right, so what was your takeaway?
Green walking shoes and rain shoes. Don't let anybody tell you. You know,
Fair
something.
point.
Yeah.
So wow, this marathon is crazy, right?
Yeah.
All the streets are packed. Everything looks beautiful. Oh wow, look at those knockers. You see those? Crazy. So for anybody who knows us, they know we love knockers. We love little knockers. We love extreme knockers. We love even cold knockers. We love Pierce knockers. We love tall knockers. We love big knockers. Little knockers, guineas, and even those that come with a little head. So anyway, so we're going to try to find this place. And completely different than Venice. It is packed here.
Yes.
We felt like we were in Venice all by ourselves. This place, not so much. So we have
Except for this one street, it seems kind of quiet.
except for this one street. Super quiet.
Just us.
Right back there, insanity.
Yeah.
What we didn't know is that weekend they were actually doing the Florence Marathon. And it is one of the biggest events in the city throughout the entire year. But that didn't stop us from going on and seeing all the sights and some of the magnificent buildings. Even caught a big double rainbow going all the way across the sky. As we roamed around the city, we actually got to visit the Museum of Music, which was very interesting because it had musical instruments all throughout history, and some we didn't even know existed. And what trip to Florence isn't complete without seeing a statue of David?
No, Patrick, not the one with the burger on the face. The real David. The really tall, handsome, really big David.
We continued walking around the city all evening, and then we actually took a stroll down the Arno River, took some magnificent pictures of all the scenery around it. And when I say the pictures don't do it justice, I mean it. This place was beautiful, and it was so serene. And no trip is complete without seeing Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge. Every street had a hidden surprise. Some were even more amazing than others. But every time we turned a corner, we just had to take out the camera and take more pictures. It was just simply amazing. And it just never ended. And then we found this place. It looks like a little hole in a wall, but guess what? It's not. And it's also not a bookstore. It's actually the entrance to a little secret restaurant. And being the Americans that we are, eating dinner so early at, 7:30 at night, we basically had the whole place to ourselves. And it was so nice and so sweet. The food, absolutely amazing. This was probably one of the best meals that we had the entire time we were here. And everything, it didn't matter what we picked, it just all tasted delicious. And we must have sat for hours talking afterwards. It's a good thing that we filled up too, because everywhere you turn, there's a store that sells all this wonderfully smelling food. And it just goes on for days and days. And you want to eat all of them. And it was time to get that final kiss for the evening. We needed our rest because we had a full schedule the next day. We were off early in the morning.
Hopped on the bus, got with our tour guide, and we were headed to Pisa. It was a great trip and a wonderful drive. Oh, and by the way, this is actually what they consider a really large RV over there in Italy. Shocking, especially to us. Now in Pisa, we got to see a lot of people sitting out. They would look like they were drawing, and I thought they were art students. After sitting down and talking to some, come to find out, they're actually studying architecture, and they had to study these buildings as part of their curriculum. It was amazing to see structures that has withstood over 1,000 years. Yeah, we may consider ourselves to be worldly travelers, but yeah, we still do the touristy stuff. And why not? You're in Pisa. Then it was back on the bus, headed out to St. Gimignano. So it was actually another really nice drive through the country. We had a great time talking to everybody on the bus, hearing all the stories from the tour guide. And hey, there's an IKEA. St. Gimignano was actually a very impressive place. And again, because of the weather and everything, it was like we had the whole place to ourselves. It was just simply amazing and picturesque. I mean, the pictures speak for themselves. I think I'm actually just going to kind of shut up and just let you look at this.
Oh wait, a key! I must turn it.
Stop screwing around. We got to get back on the bus. All right, because we got to go past the truffle fields, and then we got to go past the olive farms, and then we got to go over the mountain, and then we're finally going to get to the winery, and then we can sit down and eat and have our wine tasting. Oh man, the wine here, unbelievable. Balsamic vinegar, top notch. Oh look, there's an aqueduct. Anyway, so we're going to keep moving here because we got to hurry up and get to Siena. Siena, also amazing. And yes, by the way, we're doing all this in one day. We're seeing so much. Luckily, we missed the horse races that were here just a couple days prior. Otherwise, this whole plaza would have been completely packed and we wouldn't have been able to even see any of this. Otherwise, the square would have looked a lot like this. All joking aside, though, Siena had some beautiful architecture and big buildings just like everywhere else. Some of the views here were just simply spectacular. And after visiting 4 different cities in one day, we were more than willing to sit here and wait for our bus to take us back to the hotel because we were going to get some rest, some well-needed rest. Because guess what? The next day, we're getting ready to head out to Rome, hop on another speed train, head us out. So just make sure you join us next week so that we can tell you all about our train trip and some of our favorite sites in Rome that we love to see.
Roma.
I don't care what you say. I know that there's a lot of historical meaning behind this painting, but these babies are just creepy. It honestly looks like he's just waiting for her to fall asleep so he can kill her. I'm just saying.
Smash it. I love them. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.